Hello everybody, I wanted to make a YouTube video, but instead of making a YouTube video, I thought I might do a YouTube live and kind of pregame a little bit and amp up the Palantir community for tonight's debate. If you guys didn't know what Amit Investing, he's a Palantir bull, one of the largest Palantir channels. Yeah, one of the largest Palantir channels. He is debating Bear Cave. Bear Cave is the publication that wrote a bear case thesis or a short report on Palantir behind like a $67 paywall, and he's going to debate Amit. If you guys don't know Amit, Amit was a national level debater. I think he was like number 7 in the country during high school, so he knows a thing or two about speaking. On top of that, right now is probably a really bad time to actually debate about Palantir because Palantir is up like 130% year to date, and we just locked up a massive $463 million contract with the U.S. Special Operations Command. On top of that, that's not the first time we have a contract with them. That's not the second time we have a contract with them. And all contracts is in the hundreds of millions of dollars, which is absolutely massive. Besides for that, Palantir just announced a massive partnership on top of AWS for manufacturing, which I am going to actually explain, and I'm going to get help from ChatGPT to explain it to us like we are 5 years old. We also got a really cool tweet to go over where we are mentioned on CNBC as a very good artificial intelligence play, Palantir. Not to mention, I wanted to showcase Jesse Dow. I've asked you guys to follow Jesse on Twitter. Jesse just made close to $500,000 over the course of the last month playing with Palantir calls. If this is something that you guys would like, definitely sit back, relax, enjoy the rest of this video. I'm gonna go over everything, and after that, I'm gonna answer some questions in the live. If you guys are watching this later, I'm just gonna make it into a video. Before I start, I wanted to make a huge announcement. Keith is gonna be on Amit's show tomorrow. Keith is one of the original Palantir bulls. He's a TV personality on CNBC. I'll cover that tweet in just a moment as well. Please tune in to Amit Investing's YouTube channel tomorrow at 9:20 for the opening bell. Keith is going to be on the show at 9:40. You guys are definitely not going to want to miss this. Let me share my screen and show you guys a couple of things. Earlier today, we got an announcement. Palantir launches Foundry for manufacturing on AWS to the broader market. I am going to read through this, but before I read through this, I literally took this, I put everything in this article into ChatGPT. I wanted to ask ChatGPT to explain it to us like we're 5 years old because a lot of people just don't understand. So I asked ChatGPT, can you explain it to me like I'm 5 years old in plain English? What exactly does it mean? Palantir launches Foundry for manufacturing on AWS to the broader market. And then I put in the entire article and ChatGPT gave me an answer. Imagine you are playing with a giant box of Lego blocks. Each block is a piece of information or data about a toy factory you're pretending to run. Some blocks might be about how many toys you're making, some might be about how long it takes to make a toy, and others might be about any problems you're having in the factory. Now, it's pretty hard to understand what's going on in the toy factory if all these blocks are just jumbled up in a box. It would be great if there was a way to neatly organize these blocks so you can easily understand everything that's happening in your toy factory. That's essentially what Palantir Foundry for manufacturing on AWS does, but for real factories, not just pretend ones. It's a tool that helps factories gather all their data, aka Lego blocks, organize it, and understand it better. This helps them make better decisions about how to run their factory, like how many more toys, or fix any problems more quickly. AWS, which is Amazon Web Services, is like a giant computer in the cloud that can do lots of different things. By using AWS, Palantir's tools can work better and faster because it can use all the power of this giant computer. And I quote, so Palantir launches Foundry for manufacturing on AWS to broader market means that Palantir has made this tool available for any factory to use. It's like they've built a super awesome Lego organizational machine, and now they're letting anybody who needs to organize their Lego blocks use be able to do that. Really easy to understand. This Palantir Foundry for manufacturing is allowing you to solve any problems and organize your manufacturing plant in the easiest possible explanation that we could possibly make. Now let's actually read the article. Foundry for Manufacturing in AWS is a comprehensive solution that helps manufacturers integrate and contextualize their data assets and unlock powerful applications such as yield optimization, dynamic maintenance, production scheduling, and computer vision quality detection. Integration between Foundry and AWS services such as AWS Lake Formation, Amazon Redshift, and Amazon Relations Database Services allow for additional flexibility. Foundry is quickly becoming the primary operating system at Integrity Tools and Mold's largest plant in Windsor, Canada. The company engaged with Palantir early on in its digital transformation journey, and Integrity Tool and Mold is on track to build the best-in-class digital command center, connecting teams and data from across the organizations to improve manufacturing operations. This is one example of somebody that's using Palantir Foundry for manufacturing. And I quote, "We believe that with the combination of our people, our vision, and now with the Foundry platform, we can revolutionize the custom manufacturing industry." So that's just one example. If you go a little bit lower, they're going to now talk about Panasonic Energy, and then they're going to talk about Jacobs. Panasonic Energy Group company recently deployed Foundry on AWS at its Panasonic Energy of North America facility in Sparks, Nevada. Foundry on AWS now serves as the foundation of Panasonic Energy North. Jacob, one of the world's largest engineering and technical service companies, developed a process optimizing the dynamic maintenance solution suite in Palantir Foundry that connects predictive artificial intelligence modeling with day-to-day site operations to improve energy and chemical use across plant sites. In 6 months, Jacob achieved 20% annual reduction in plant-wide energy utilization at the pilot site location, and the company is now scaling to multiple plant locations. Guys, I can go on and on and on, and I apologize if I'm sweating profusely. I am still sick, but I still wanted to bring this live to you. So we have ChatGPT that explained it to us like we're 5. AWS is a magical supercomputer in the cloud that has a bunch of data. And a lot of people is using this supercomputer. Palantir Foundry for Manufacturing allows you to take all of your data and organize it neatly and figure out what to actually do with your data, not to mention how to use your data to fix problems, therefore making you less inefficient, de facto making you more efficient. Palantir is not stopping. Palantir is moving forward. This is absolutely amazing because if you think about it, right now we're talking about commercial use cases and we're giving actual examples of how Palantir is moving forward in the commercial space and how Palantir is a vital part of huge organizations like Panasonic and like Jacobs. 2 days ago, or yesterday, we got an announcement from the United States Special Operations Command that we received a $463 million, $500 million potential contract with this U.S. Special Operations Command. This is it right here. U.S. Special Operations Command awards contract to Palantir. Palantir provides the best-in-class software capabilities for America's warfighters, including the men and women of United States Special Operations Command, and this contract award will help ensure their continued competitive advantage in the next phase of competition. Palantir helps the United States Special Operations Command to parse the petabytes of data emanating from today's environments and enables decision-making. Contract $463 million. Some people don't know what the United States Special Operations Command is, so let me try to explain it to you. They deal within our borders, and they're dealing outside of our borders. This is not just the United States Army or the United States Air Force. It's actually across 4 different military branches: the Navy, the Air Force, the Army, and the Marine Corps. If you have ever heard of special operations like special units, for example, the Green Berets, or for example, Navy SEALs, when they do an operation, they are led or commanded upon by the United States Special Operations Command. So the highest missions, the biggest mission critical endeavors are being led by the United States Operations Command, and it's all being done on top of Palantir. Now, if you've just gotten into Palantir, maybe you guys wouldn't know this, and even if you've been in Palantir for a while, maybe you guys won't know this. Palantir just got this $463 million contract. However, back in 2021, Palantir got $111 million contract from the same exact United States Special Operations. And if you didn't know this, back in 2016, they got a $222 million contract. Between the $111 million, the $222 million, and now the $463 million, this is $750 million going to Palantir over less than the last decade. Now I want to show you guys something very important. If you go a little bit lower, this is extremely important. This contract is a result of the trust built on more than a decade of work between our communities and is a reaffirmation of Palantir's commitment to always provide the most capable software for the U.S. warfighters who need it most. Guys, you know, a lot of people are like, Palantir has no moat. Anybody can do what Palantir does. So it's a question here. Number one, the first question is, technically, can somebody do what Palantir does? Like, do you have the actual technical capabilities to do what Palantir does? The second question is, do you have the relationships to do what Palantir does? Like, it's not help you if you can do exactly what Palantir does, which you can't. But let's just say you could. Can you actually get these massive hundreds of millions of dollars of contracts? Do you have the relationships? Did you put in blood, sweat, and tears? And the third question is, do you have impact level 6 clearance? And the answer is no, because there's only 3 companies that have impact level 6 clearance. Microsoft, $2 trillion company. Google, nearly a $2 trillion company. And Palantir, which is right now around 33 billion. So this is to answer anybody that says, does Palantir have competition? Yeah, in theory, Palantir has competition. But do they really have competition? You see, the main issue with Palantir is they have mega customers, right? Their top 20 customers, if I'm not mistaken, all bring in like $50 million contracts off the top of my head. So what Palantir needs to do is scale down, not scale up, scale down. That's a lot easier. Scaling down is easier than scaling up. Remember, Palantir is super diverse. Today announcing a massive partnership in the commercial space, and yesterday announcing a massive, massive contract at the highest possible level of the United States Department of Defense in one of the most renowned divisions, United States Special Operations Command. Palantir for the win. Now, earlier today, we were mentioned on CNBC. Shout out to the Cameroon. If you guys don't know him, I highly suggest that you guys follow him on Twitter. I'm going to put his Twitter handle over here. He puts out a shit ton of great, great content. And he says, the tip of the hat to Munster Gene for his astute observation on CNBC today, recognizing the tremendous growth potential of Palantir as it rides the wave of AI revolution. This is it right here. I would like to play this for just a moment. So let's listen to this CNBC. It's going to be a 4-minute clip. Let's enjoy. And the guy is going to mention Palantir by name. Palantir by name. The only other 2 people that I know that ever mentioned Palantir by name is Dan Ives and Keith Fitzgerald, who's coming on Amit's show tomorrow. Please tune in to Amit's show tomorrow morning. We're literally going to get a CNBC contributor, a TV personality, who has over 40 years of experience. He's been doing this for 4 decades, who's coming on to Ahmed's show representing the Palantir community.
Let me turn to you. You were at the Apple event yesterday. So were you, Steve. I gather you've seen the VR headset, even had a chance to try it on. If you had to, as a long-term investor, Herb made the very sort of interesting distinction between speculative investing and longer-term investing. If you had to choose between AI, VR, or Bitcoin slash blockchain, which would it be as a long-term investment, and where would you put money?
From my perspective, it's AI. AI would get, if I was going to grade it, it's an A. The metaverse is a B. It was a C last week, so it had a nice bump up there. But still, this the concept around AI, and just to add yet another vector to it, is that this is going to be in every product where the metaverse and spatial computing won't be. As far as companies, I think sometimes the most obvious ones are where the best returns are. And we've seen that with NVIDIA. At this point, I think NVIDIA has gone too far, but I think companies like Google, Palantir, Meta, all those three, I think, are great companies to really ride that wave.
So, it's really nice to get some recognition. It's really nice for somebody to actually mention Palantir. It's really nice to get some clout when it comes to Palantir. So I, for one, am all for this. And yeah, I'm really, really excited to see what's about to happen, right? This whole artificial intelligence bubble is just at the beginning. And if you believe it's a bubble or not, or you believe it's here to stay, it still has a really, really, really big runway to keep going.